So what are the best real estate investments after this pandemic? I don't have a crystal ball, but in this video I'm going to share my 5 picks for which sectors to look out for in real estate investment over the next few years. I actually think this is going to be a good video and I have a lot of nuggets to share. So what do you think are going to be the best real estate investments over the next 5 to 10 years? Take this poll. I'll pop it up somewhere. I'm not quite sure how to work this YouTube yet, but there will hopefully be a poll here within the video. What do you think will be the best property investments over the next few years? Is it going to be retail, offices, industrial, hotels, students, accommodation, or residential? Or is it going to be in or out of cities? So quickly take the poll, and if there's a different sector that you're thinking about, put it in the comments below. Also, which sector do you think will perform worst? Put that in the comments below as well. I'm going to focus on sectors in this video, not individual properties. Any property can be a good investment in any sector if it provides positive cash flow, long-term capital growth, and is attractive to tenants. Before I get into any great details here, make sure you subscribe. Go on, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button, it really helps me out. Okay, so for this video, I'm talking about recovery and growth. My views of these sectors are for the long term, not the next few months. If you're reading the same articles as I am, it seems that we'll all be working from home soon and we'll all be living in cottages in the countryside soon. I'm calling BS on this one. Fine. A few people will move out to the countryside and a few more people will be working from home. But the lack of schools and amenities outside urban areas will continue to be an issue. So we won't all be living in the countryside anytime soon. But will working from home halt the trend of the increased amount of populations living in urban areas? I don't actually think so. It may slow it for a year or two, but the trend of urban living around the world will continue. I've come to this conclusion for a number of reasons. Cities are important to our future development as a race. Cities are where humans came together, shared ideas and brought those ideas to life. From Athens, the birthplace of democracy, Rome and the aqueducts, Florence and art, London and the theatres, Paris, the birthplace of restaurants which spread all around the world, but for decades restaurants were only found in cities. Detroit, the birthplace of Motown and techno, New York, the development of skyscrapers and the financial markets as we know it, and also New York, don't forget, is where hip-hop was created. Cities don't just help share ideas, they also allow for specialisation. Even Dublin is famous for whiskey and distilling. Guinness actually moved from Kildare to Dublin before it really took off. Inventions like the syringe, the first flavoured crisps, Tato, and also colour photography are just a few of the inventions that actually have their roots in Dublin City. While the inventors themselves may not have actually been from Dublin, their ideas were generated and perfected within Dublin. And I'm sure there's many tech companies out there that can actually be added to this list now. Cities do rise and fall, and sometimes it's their success that's their downfall. From overcrowding and the introduction of disease, or innovations that allow people to spread out and travel greater distance. The Industrial Revolution in the UK, where great minds came together in cities to develop steam power and the train, meant that industries became less labour intensive and required more space for bigger factories, hence moving out of the cities to lower valued sites. The modern day example of this would be data centres. Perhaps the biggest negative impact on city development was an invention created in a city, which was the mass production of affordable cars, which led to the rapid growth of suburbs and the declines of cities. I believe if cities can survive the Industrial Revolution and affordable cars, they will survive the coronavirus and working from home. Cities originally attracted people as they were places of power, education, employment and places for trade. But there's so much more than that now. Some cities are in decline, but the fastest growing cities in the US are LA and Miami, both consumer cities. By consumer cities, what I actually mean is their main economic activity is actually buying and selling and entertaining. Unlike cities that have a political or industrial roots, the main growth of cities nowadays is a lifestyle choice, not an employment one. I could go into a lot more detail on this topic, but I actually think this is enough to illustrate my thinking in regards to the 5 real estate investment areas to watch. I'm not going to put these in any order, but these are 5 sectors to consider. Retirement homes and the ageing community. Developments near or around urban hubs that have a range of services that they can offer to the elderly. Most developing countries will need to address the ageing population. I see opportunities for communities to focus on the ageing, communities that allow people to move in early and grow old, knowing that they can easily move within the community as their needs change. There are opportunities to develop homes that can easily be repurposed when required. I'm so sick and tired of the Irish new homes at the moment. They're all the same and none of them allow you to put your own stamp on it. If new homes allowed owners to remove walls or add rooms easier, they would become far more attractive to the owners. Owners may not need to move as their families grow or when they downsize. A 4-bedroom home should easily be able to be converted into 2 2-bedrooms and 1 sold off as a family downsizes. If we want to establish strong communities, we need to allow families grow and downsize within the community. This also applies to apartment living. A lot of cities get apartment living right for families as they provide a range of amenities. Dublin seems to get this so wrong, and I think the main reason Dublin get this so wrong, especially around the Docklands, and the Docklands seems so lifeless, is because the lack of education for families. Education is such an important factor as how a city or community will perform. A lack of an investment in schools within cities will always lead to a downfall within the area. I see this as an opportunity as well. People will continue to work and live within the city, but if they could actually send their kids to school within the city, they're more likely to actually remaining living in the city as well. Therefore, there is an opportunity to invest in private education facilities within the city. Some education will move online, but I see this as an add-on to colleges, not their downfall. That said, if anyone knows of a site or building that would be suitable for a secondary school within Dublin 3 or Clontarf or along the Dart line on the north side, let me know and drop me an email. Next we have industrial space. We've all seen the growth in shared offices and co-living, and I think the next shared space will be industrial units in or around urban areas. From shared kitchens for restaurants to shared specialised small manufacturing close to tech hubs within the cities. Also, I can actually see gyms sharing facilities too. Storage space will also become more important for businesses within urban areas. We saw stories from major companies running out of supplies within weeks of the lockdown. So now there's going to be loads of companies and even governments who will want to build up at least 6 months of supply of stock, and they'll even want to bring manufacturing closer to home. The next opportunity will depend on how bad the market actually falls, and that's hotels. If hotels can be picked up for cheap, they do have a strong future once this is all behind us. But the opportunity is getting them cheap. The Airbnb market will be hit hard and many investors will actually leave the game. And cities will crack down on them reopening. If people think people aren't going to travel again, well, that was said back in 9/11. I can already see from friends that people are itching to go away. It may take a little bit of time for international travel to resume, but it will. I think once we're over this, I don't think there'll be any lack of demand due to the coronavirus. There may be a small bit of lack of demand in regards to global warming and the overall airline industry, but I do think hotels will come back and they will come back strong. I think most people will actually agree with me that non-prime retail is going to really struggle over the next few years. But I think that's why there's an opportunity here. The space will become less valuable and alternative uses will become possible. Clever entrepreneurs will come up with ideas on how this space can actually be used, from small co-working spaces that serve coffee to leisure opportunities, including indoor driving ranges. But let your imagination flow and put in, if you have any good alternatives, put them in the comments below for the vacant retail units. Also, if you have any vacant retail units, spaces that you don't know what to do with it, I'm happy to speak to you and see if we can come up with some ideas. So there are just 5 of my real estate opportunities to look out for: the aging population, industrial, education, hotels, and alternative uses for vacant retail space. There are loads more opportunities out there, and there's definitely other opportunities to consider. There's a lot of people looking at social housing, co-living, as well as build to rent, but it seems like everyone wants a slice of that pie. The real impact of coronavirus is yet unknown, and the future on property development is also unknown. But it's good to look back at history. The Spanish flu lasted for about 15 months and killed about 17 to 50 million people. It had little to no impact on urban development, and cities grew at record paces. Compare that to the Black Death in Europe that kept coming back year after year for about 7 years. It's estimated that it killed at least 70 to 200 million people. It basically put a complete and utter stop to urban development for centuries for many European cities. The impact on urban growth and the property development this time will largely depend on how fast we can get this pandemic under control. So my final thoughts on this are, regardless of developments in work from home, online learning, even drone deliveries, they cannot replace the buzz and creative ideas that are brought to life from working and living within a city. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram for more regular updates, and as always, thanks for watching.